Have you ever had, uh, I guess it had to be more than just a thought, but something that people just underestimated you about or for? Um, I think for me, this part of the story starts in high school. Um, because I mentioned I'd been through a lot of elementary schools, and I was itching to go somewhere, even if it was college or the military. I was ready to go. Um, so yeah, when I was like deciding between going to the military or college, um, once I got my full ride, and it was college, that's where I went. I was going to college. Um, that was the thing I was gonna do, and I'd always planned on going abroad or at least studying abroad. Didn't end up doing that in college, and thus I joined the Peace Corps. Um, and it's like here's the thing, people did not believe me. They did not believe me, um, which, you know, outside of my family is fair because I was in an environment where, um, when I was in junior high and high school, like the going on band trips and stuff for some kids, that was the first time they got out of that city or out of the state. So me over here talking about going abroad, to most people around where I was a figment of an imagination. But my dad had already put me on a plane at the age of 5. I was going. Um, so yeah, people were surprised, except for, like I said, my dad, my sister, um, my family. So yeah, everybody was surprised. And I came back home, and then I left again. Like I said, y'all know this time for South Korea, teach English. But people were still surprised. And it was like, didn't I just show y'all? I said I was going to do what I was going to do. I don't know. Maybe they thought Peace Corps was a fluke, which I don't know how, because I was definitely gone for the full 27 months. Like, I was gone for 2 years. But I guess after Korea, people started to believe me. Um, because, yeah, when I said I was going to do something, I kept doing the things I said I was going to do. And even now, people think I'm still gone. Uh, some people don't realize that I've been back in my home state for a while. I don't know if some people still think I'm abroad or if they just think I'm still out of state somewhere. Um, but I also think that that's when a bit of an external expectation started. Some of it was internal too. Some of it was pressure that I put on myself, for sure. I can admit that. Um, but I don't know. I guess I had just proved that I could do hard things, that I could follow through, and that when I said I was leaving, I was leaving. Um, and I guess once you have proven that people continue to expect it, or they continue, or they expect the next thing, the bigger thing, um, the thing that, like, will make sense on paper, right? Um, and to be fair, on paper, it does look good. Like on my resume, things look pretty cool. Um, I did everything in the right order. Went to college, did Peace Corps, did South Korea. I learned languages. I have the intercultural experience, intercultural communication. Went back to school, got my master's. Did all the things. And again, that was those steps I was climbing, right? Um, so yeah, the resume ended up looking impressive, um, and it looked like I'm someone that's going places, someone who's done things and that should be somewhere by now. That's not here. Um, but here's what my resume doesn't show. Um, And maybe there's some indications, right? I do have student loans, even though I had a full ride. Um, I still have credit card debt, like most adults. But I'm not in whatever, I don't know, job, company, blase that you would maybe think of someone who has the kind of resume that I have. It's not there. Um, just whatever someone would say. Oh yeah, that makes sense for Renee and what she's done in the past. Even though I did all the things that everyone said you're supposed to do in that order, right? And so sometimes I have wondered if it was worth it. But at the end of the day, yeah, it was. I cannot regret Peace Corps. I do not regret Korea. Uh, I do not regret grad school. Um, because those experiences not only made me who I am, they refined me in a way. Um, I've always kind of had the lens in which I was gonna have to view the world, but it definitely, um, yeah, those experiences helped shaped me. Um, but there is a gap. There's a gap between what the resume says and the bank account. Quite frankly, there's a gap between what people expect when they hear Peace Corps in South Korea and master's degree and what my life actually looks like. And that gap is where I've been living in the space between an impressive list and maybe not so unimpressive life. Um, and I think there are pieces of that gap that contributed to why I stopped showing up. Obviously, not all of it, because the beginnings of the gap is when I originally stopped. So I was, I don't want to say in the height of my career. That sounds depressing. Um, when I stopped, but I was definitely doing the things already when I stopped. But I think once those things started, they wrapped up, um, and then I started doing other things. I think the unimpressive things just gave me the excuse to continue, not to not start. Yeah, I uh, I think that's why it's taken me still so long to get started again. But I'm done with that. I'm done letting the gap be the reason I stay quiet. Because maybe things don't look like what they imagined. Maybe they don't look like what I imagined. Maybe they don't make sense on paper. Maybe it just looks like this: showing up, telling my truth, being in the messy middle, and saying, this is where I am. It may not be where I thought I would be, but this is where I am. So here's my question of the day for you. Have you ever done everything right and it still felt like it wasn't enough? And honestly, I feel like I have heard this from other people, so I'm definitely, don't be shy in the comments. Like, we are not alone in this. Um, but then my follow up to that is, what are you doing with that feeling?